The wind howled through the cold towers of Baron Vexer's palace. It was not a place where humans were welcomed often. But Jace, tall, scarred, and proud in his battered armor, stood in the grand hall, surrounded by sneering alien nobles. The war was over, and Jace had won a battle that no one else could. The Baron himself walked forward, a tall alien with glowing red eyes and silver robes. He smiled, but it was not a kind smile. It was sharp, mocking. "You fought well, human," the Baron said, his voice echoing. "As a reward, I give you a gift." The room grew quiet. Then, with a flick of his hand, servants rolled in a wooden chair. On it sat a girl, no, an alien woman. Young, perhaps in her early 20s by human years. Her skin was a soft green, her black hair flowing down her back like a river of ink. But she did not move. Her head leaned to the side. Her hands rested on her lap. Her eyes stared forward blank, unblinking. "She is my daughter," the Baron said, his voice full of cruel amusement. "Born with no voice, no strength, no use. I thought she might entertain you." The hall burst into laughter. Alien nobles slapped their knees and whispered insults in their native tongue. Some pointed. Others shook their heads. Jace stood still. He looked at the girl again. Something in her eyes flickered. Just for a second. A small movement. A breath, perhaps. Sign that she was not empty. "She has a name?" Jace asked, voice calm. The Baron waved dismissively. "Thalara, a disappointment, like her mother." Jace didn't speak. He walked to the chair. The girl's skin was warm. Her face was still. Her body delicate and unmoving. But her eyes, yes, they were watching, quietly, carefully. "I'll take her," Jace said. The Baron blinked, surprised. "You ... Accept?" "I do." Jace picked up the handles of the cart. The nobles began whispering again. Some laughed harder. Others looked confused. As he turned to leave, the Baron added, "Don't waste your time trying to fix her, human. She's already broken." Jace paused only for a second. "Even broken things can be useful," he said. He wheeled her out through the long stone corridor, past sneering guards and high alien statues. Outside, the sky was gray. Dust blew over the ground. Jace kept walking. At his transport ship, his second-in-command, Lieutenant Kara, raised an eyebrow. "What ... is that?" she asked. "She's coming with us. She doesn't speak. Doesn't move. Is she alive?" "She's watching everything," Jace replied, voice low. "I think she understands more than anyone knows." Kara frowned but nodded. "Understood, sir." Inside the ship, Jace placed Thalara in a private room with soft light and warmth. He brought her food and water. She didn't eat. He read her simple stories. She didn't respond. But every time he looked, her eyes were open and locked on. At night, when the engines hummed, Jace sat beside her. "Maybe they gave you to me as a joke," he said quietly. "Maybe they thought I'd throw you away. But I've seen eyes like yours before. Eyes that belong to survivors." The ship flew through the stars, and the girl didn't speak. But Jace didn't stop talking. "Everyone deserves a chance, even you, especially you." For the first time since he left the Baron's hall, her eyes blinked. Once Jace smiled. "Just a little." It was a beginning. Thalara was silent, but not empty. Inside her mind, stars burned. Voices echoed. She remembered the laughter in the Baron's hall. She remembered the cold hands that dressed her like a doll and the sharp words of her father who called her useless since she was a child. But now there was a human, one who spoke to her like she mattered. Jace checked on her every morning. He cleaned her face with warm cloths. He played soft music and told stories about Earth, about war, about his little sister who had once been in a wheelchair too. He didn't speak with pity. He spoke with hope. In his quarters, Jace sat at his desk, watching the camera feed from her room. She still doesn't move. Kara said from behind him, arms crossed. She blinks more. When I talk, Jace replied. And she watches, closely. She's listening. Kara sighed. We're soldiers, Jace, not caretakers. She's more than she looks, he said. I just need to reach her. Later that evening, Jace entered Thalara's room. He pulled up a chair and placed a small device on the table, a portable neural scanner. I'm going to try something, he said softly. He placed the scanner near her head. The machine hummed and lit up. A graph appeared in the air, brainwaves, strong and active. She wasn't in a coma. Her mind was fully awake. Jace leaned closer. You're in there, aren't you? One blink, deliberate. Timed. He smiled. Good. The next day, Jace installed a basic eye movement system. 2 blinks meant yes. 1 blink, no. 3 blinks meant, I don't understand. He tested it carefully. Do you know where you are? He asked. 2 blinks. Do you remember your name? 2 blinks. Is your name Thalara? 2 blinks. Again. Kara watched from the door, her face serious now. She's answering. I told you, Jace said, voice calm. Soon, Jace began asking harder questions. Every day, her responses got faster. He told her war stories, and she blinked in the right places. He showed her videos of training exercises. She blinked when someone made a mistake. Her mind wasn't just working, it was sharp. She's absorbing everything, Jace whispered one night. Reviewing her responses. He connected her to a basic learning pad. At first, she used her eyes to choose symbols. Then words. Then full sentences appeared on screen. Hello, Jace. He stared at the screen. Stunned. Double quotes. Hello, Thalara. He replied softly. Thank you for not leaving me. His chest tightened. I never planned to. Later that night, Kara found Jace sitting in silence. She spoke to me, he said, eyes wide. She typed. She communicated, chose her words. She thanked me. Kara exhaled. So now what? Jace looked up. Now we teach her everything. Back in her room, Thalara stared at the stars through the window. For the first time in years, her mind felt alive, awake, and most importantly, free. She had been given away as a joke. But the joke was over now, and her story had just begun. The ship glided through deep space, silent and steady. But inside, something powerful was beginning. Thalara could not walk, but her mind was racing. Jace had given her a voice through blinking, symbols, then a screen. Now he wanted to give her more. I'm building something for you, he said, entering her room with a small black headset. She blinked twice. Yes. This is a neural link. It connects your thoughts to a virtual world. There, you can move, walk, train, think fast, fight if you want to. Thalara stared at the device. Fear, hope, doubt. Then, 2 blinks. Jay smiled. All right, let's begin. He carefully placed the headset over her head. Lights flickered. Her body stayed still, but her eyes widened. In her mind, the dark room vanished. She stood tall in a glowing field under alien stars. Her arms moved freely. Her legs were strong. She gasped, not in sound, but in thought. She had a body again. A voice echoed in the simulation. Welcome, Thalara. Training mode engaged. At first, she stumbled. She fell often. She walked like a child learning for the first time. But each time she got up faster, stronger. Within hours, she was running, jumping, dodging, kicking targets. Jace watched her vitals. From outside, stunned. She's learning faster than any cadet. Kara leaned over. She's not just training. She's becoming dangerous. In the next sessions, Thalara asked for combat simulations, sword training, gun drills, strategy, lessons. Jace loaded everything he had from the Human Military Academy. In one session, she defeated 12 AI opponents in under 3 minutes. No wasted movement. Perfect accuracy, but it wasn't just strength. She adapted. She predicted enemy moves. She created tactics no soldier had thought of. After logging out, her screen flashed a message. "Why did you help me, Jace?" He hesitated. "Because no one else did. Because you're not weak. They were wrong about you. They called me broken. Then we'll show them what broken can do." From that day, Thalara trained for hours daily. In the real world, her body barely moved. But in the simulation, she became something else: faster, smarter, unstoppable. Jace upgraded her headset, installed direct neural input modules, and created more complex battlefields. She led simulated troops. She learned how to command. "She's not just a fighter," Jace whispered one night, watching her simulation. "She's a leader." One day, she asked him for something new. "Teach me human history." He did. She studied. Human wars, philosophy, strategy, even poetry. And she asked questions, hundreds of them. Some Jace couldn't even answer. Kara shook her head in disbelief. "She's evolving, Jace. Every day." "I know," he said, eyes focused. "And she's not done." Meanwhile, across the galaxy, rumors spread. Some whispered that the human had taken the Baron's broken daughter. Some said she had vanished. Others believed she had died. But the truth? The truth was training in shadows. And soon, the galaxy would remember her name. Asterisk, the ship floated near a quiet moon station, parked for maintenance and fuel. Inside, deep in the medical wing, something impossible was happening. Thalara's finger twitched out at first. Jace thought it was a system glitch. He blinked, rubbed his eyes, and checked the neural feed. But there it was again. Her right index finger moved. Not once, not by mistake. Again. He rushed to her side. "Thalara?" On the screen beside her bed, 3 words appeared. "I felt that." Jace sat down, stunned. "Your nerves, they're waking up." Her hand trembled weakly, like a leaf in wind. But that one small motion changed everything. Over the next days, Jace called in his best medics and cyber rehab specialists. They examined her, checked her spine, tested her muscles. Their faces turned from confusion to disbelief. "She shouldn't be able to move," one whispered. "But she is," Jace replied, smiling. "And she will do more." Using gentle therapy, neural impulses, and robotic muscle supports, Jace built her a custom exoframe, a sleek, black and silver support suit, shaped to her delicate frame. It connected directly to her brain via her headset. When they placed her inside the suit, she didn't move. Jace knelt beside her. "You don't have to stand, not today, but you can try." The room went silent. Her legs twitched. The exoframe hissed softly, adjusting. The knees bent, and slowly, painfully, she rose. Not far. Not fast, but she stood. Kara saw it first. Her jaw dropped. She's standing. Jace had tears in his eyes. She's rising. The next few weeks were brutal. Thalara trained. For hours, walking, falling, standing again. The exoframe supported her, but it didn't do everything. Her body had to learn. Her muscles had to fight. Sometimes she collapsed. Sometimes she screamed through her screen in frustration. It's too slow. I hate this. I'm weak. But Jace always answered the same way. "No, you're strong, and you're getting stronger every day." One morning, the ship's crew gathered in the cargo bay. Jace had told them nothing, only that they should come. The bay doors opened. Thalara entered, on her own feet. The exoframe glowed gently around her body, her long black hair falling over her shoulders. Her steps were shaky, but they were hers. The crew froze. No one spoke. Then one soldier began to clap. Then another. Then all. Thunderous applause filled the bay. Thalara looked up, blinking fast. She had never heard applause meant for her. Never seen pride in the eyes of others. Never walked in front of anyone. Until now. Kara approached, quiet and serious. "I was wrong," she said. "You're not a project. You're a miracle." Thalara typed one word onto the screen. "Thanks." That night, Jay stood beside her in the observation deck. Stars drifted by the windows. Silence hung between them. "You were given to me as a joke," Jace said softly. "But I think the galaxy just made its biggest mistake." Thalara turned her head slowly and smiled. A real smile, small, but strong. And for the first time in her life, she felt it too. She wasn't broken. She was just getting started. The warning sirens echoed through the starship. Red lights flashed in every hallway. Enemy signals were approaching, fast, heavy, and armed for destruction. Jace looked at the incoming transmission. The symbol on the screen was unmistakable. House Draven, the sworn enemies of the Baron, ruthless warlords. They didn't attack with words. They attacked with fire. "They must have tracked us from the supply station," Kara muttered, gripping her rifle. "They're not after us," Jace said coldly. "They want her." Thalara stood beside him in her exoframe, her breathing calm, her fingers flexed. Her new gloves had neural touchpads, allowing her to control drones, ships, and weapons with just her thoughts. "You don't have to fight," Jace told her. "We can run." But Thalara shook her head slowly. On her screen she typed one word. No. She had been silent too long, afraid too long, powerless for too long. This time, she would not hide. Jace nodded. "Then let's show them who you are." He rushed her to the command room. Thalara sat in a control chair built just for her. As the enemy ships entered range, she plugged into the ship's neural command system. Instantly, her eyes glowed with digital light. She saw everything: engine levels, enemy formations, weapons targeting systems like stars dancing in her mind. "Activating tactical view," the ship's AI said. "Captain, you may give control to Operator Thalara." Jace stepped back. "All yours." Outside, 10 enemy ships closed in. Cannons charged, missiles locked. The crew braced for impact, but before a single shot was fired, Thalara acted. With lightning speed, she sent 2 decoy drones into the enemy ranks. Then she dropped a net of EMP mines in their flight path. Next, she redirected the ship's shield energy to block all forward fire. The result was chaos. Enemy systems blinked, overloaded. 2 ships crashed into each other. One fired on its own wingmate. Thalara targeted their engines, not their lives. She didn't want to kill. She wanted to humiliate them, and she did. In 5 minutes, the battlefield turned into a dance floor, and she was the master. Kara watched the screen in awe. "I've never seen command moves like this." "She's not fighting them," Jace whispered. "She's rewriting the entire battle." The final enemy ship tried to escape. Thalara sent a warning pulse, just enough to disable their engines. She could have destroyed them. But she chose mercy. When it was over, the room was silent. The crew stared at her. This wasn't a girl in a wheelchair anymore. This was a commander. Leader, a weapon of precision. Jace approached her slowly. "That was legendary." Thalara turned to him, her face calm. On the screen, a message appeared. "They thought I was a burden." Another line followed. "Now I'm the shield." News of the battle spread quickly. A paralyzed girl leading a human crew to victory? It couldn't be real, but it was, and the galaxy had just taken notice. Baron Vexer sat on his golden throne, surrounded by holographic screens. His expression twisted as he watched the battle footage over and over again. The girl, his daughter, the one he gave away like scrap metal. Now standing, now leading, now feared. Each report confirmed the same impossible truth. Thalara, once called the Broken Daughter, had not only walked, she had commanded a victory against a superior fleet without firing a single killing shot. She used a human warship, growled a noble nearby. She used her mind, corrected another, nervous. She coordinated, she predicted, she outmatched them all. Vexer's claws clenched around his cup. She embarrassed our enemies, and me. Back aboard Jace's ship, Thalara was quiet. She had returned to her training schedule, almost as if nothing had happened. But she knew. She could feel the eyes of the galaxy watching her. Jace entered the room. He held a datapad. "You're on every news channel," he said, smiling. "The Alliance wants to meet you. They're calling you the Mindblade." Thalara raised her brows slightly. Her screen blinked. "I never asked for fame. I know. But the universe needed to see you. They needed to know what you are." "What am I, Jace?" He looked at her. Then sat down slowly. "You are the proof that everyone was wrong. About you, about people like you, about humans too." Outside the ship, a message came through. Priority level. Sealed file. Jace opened it. It was from the Baron. "Return her to me," the message said. "She is still my blood. I demand it." Jace's jaw tightened. He turned to Thalara and showed her the message. She read it once. Slowly. Her fingers hovered over the keys. "He wants control again." "Yes," Jace said, "but he's too late." Kara entered, holding another datapad. "You should see this." It was a video. Leaked from inside the Baron's estate. His court was divided. Some worshipped Thalara now. Others feared her. Some even whispered that she should return as ruler. "They don't see you as broken anymore," Kara said. "They see you as power." Thalara typed one short reply. "I'm not going back." The Baron sent another message, angrier this time. "She was born from my name. Her victory belongs to me. Return her or face exile." Jace didn't respond. Instead, he opened a communication channel. Public. Open to all networks. He handed the mic to Thalara. She didn't hesitate. With voice simulation tech, her words were heard across the stars. "I was given away like garbage. Not as a daughter, but as a joke," her voice said, strong and clear. "But a human saw worth in me, believed in me, trained me. I do not belong to a throne I never sat on. I belong to the future I built for myself." And across hundreds of screens in space stations, warships, and alien palaces, they listened. The Baron watched, silent, for the first time in his life. He had no words, only shame. The grand hall of Baron Vexer was silent again, but not because of fear. It was shock. At the far end of the room, the doors opened with a deep, echoing groan. The nobles turned, expecting armored guards or a messenger, but it was her. Lara. She walked. Slow but steady, no hover chair, no servants, no chains. Just her black and silver exo-frame, flowing robes, and the calm gaze of a woman who had faced death and won. Gasps filled the hall. Some bowed in confusion. Others stepped back in shame. The Baron rose from his throne, disbelief in his eyes. "You dare return here?" Thalara said nothing. Behind her, Jace entered, calm and proud. He didn't need weapons. Thalara was the strongest presence in the room. She stopped just before the steps to the throne. Her screen lit up. "I came to look you in the eyes," Vexer scoffed. "You are still my blood. You walk because of what I allowed. You allowed nothing. You gave me away, as a joke. And he made me a legend." Whispers raced through the hall like wildfire. Nobles leaned closer, listening to every word. The Baron's voice cracked. I wanted you to be strong nitrogen monoxide. You wanted to hide me, but he showed me I was never weak." Jace stepped forward. "She doesn't want your throne. She doesn't want revenge. She came here so you could witness what you threw away." Vexer's eyes dropped. For the first time in years, the mighty Baron looked small. Thalara turned to the crowd. She typed, "Again. To anyone who's been cast aside. For being different, weak, slow, silent. Know this, you are not broken. You are unfinished. And with one person who believes in you, you can become unstoppable." The hall erupted, not with laughter this time, but with applause. Nobles stood. Warriors nodded with respect. Even enemies bowed their heads. Jace placed a hand on her shoulder. "Let's go home." As they turned to leave, Vexor called out, voice soft, "Thalara." She paused. I was wrong. She didn't turn back. She simply walked forward, free, strong, unstoppable. And in that moment, the galaxy did not see a paralyzed girl. They saw a symbol, a story, a legend.